Let's make another randomly generated piece of jewelry. Today's numbers are drawer 7, impression die 30. Here is the impression die we've chosen. This one has 4 small circular designs on it. These were probably originally designed to be used to make beads. I have an idea for probably this design. First up, I press silver into the design using my 20-ton press, and then use the jeweler's saw to saw around the circumference of this rounded shape. Then I will use sanding discs to smooth all of the edges. I'm going to make a pair of earrings, so I solder on a sterling silver post to the back of each of the stampings that I made. After that, I solder a small ring onto each of them where a dangle can hang from. I'm setting a stone, so I'm wrapping thin silver wire. It's called bezel strip. I'm wrapping it around tightly around the stone, cutting it, fitting the ends together, and then soldering the end closed to create the bezel wall. I want to texture the metal that I'm going to use for the back plate. This is a piece of laser engraved paper that I will then run through the rolling mill. The pressure from the rolls will transfer the texture from the paper onto the silver. It is always amazing to me how much the silver picks up the texture. I trace around each of the bezel walls so that I don't waste material. Then I saw out the shapes and solder one of the bezel walls onto the back plate. You can see here I'm using a pick to place small melted pieces of solder. They're very tiny, but you don't need to use too much solder. I'm heating everything evenly until the solder flows and the entire bezel is soldered onto the back plate. Next, I use my jeweler's saw to cut around the outside, and as always, use different sanding discs to clean and smooth all of the edges. I color the inside of the bezel wall with Sharpie so that when I test fit the stone, I can use a narrow scribe to scratch through and create a very shiny line to which I can sand down the bezel so that it fits the stone better. After I apply a patina, it's time to set the stone. The points of a stone are always the most difficult to set, so I set the tip first and then work in opposite directions. So the top, the bottom, then each side, and then I continue to work around the entire length of the bezel, pressing that wire over onto the stone to secure it in place. I sign the back of the piece, and here are the finished earrings. When I saw the die that we chose and it had this small ridged circle, I knew I wanted to pair it with these carved turquoise cabochons. I've had these stones for a few years, and I think this was the perfect opportunity to use them. The linear ridge texture carries through everything, and I'm just really thrilled with how these came out. I hope you like them too. It's that time again, so if you want to play along, leave me 2 numbers in the comments. Number 1 through 8 to determine which drawer I'll choose, and number 1 through 85 to determine which die from that drawer I'll pick. I say it every time, but thank you. I appreciate all of the interaction, all of the comments, all of the support. It means a lot to me. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.